Oh, we're live.
We're
Welcome
live.
to the world.
Okay. We're
Hello,
live,
Facebook
everybody.
world. I love it.
We're live,
Hey,
everybody.
what's going on, everybody?
Hope
You
everybody
doing
is
well.
having a great day today, wherever you are. So we're meeting on Thursday. Our normal time is Friday. We're trying to establish a normal time of Friday, but then last week we had some things kind of get in the way. And then I'm supposed to go out of town tomorrow, Trevor. I haven't even had a chance to tell you I'm not going out of town now.
Duh. Hey.
So we're here.
Join me here. Okay.
That's all that matters,
All
right?
good. All good. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm excited. This is awesome. I want to talk about water. Water is so important. I've been drinking my water all day. I've been maybe not drinking the right water. So that's why I'm kind of curious as to
What do you have in that water?
what's gonna happen here.
Something in that water. What is
Well,
it?
there's sodium here. There's
Oh,
sodium.
right.
That's why it looks really cloudy. It's really
Yeah.
like lots of salt.
I put sodium and vinegar in my water, which you recommended. I had actually been doing that before, but Trevor recommends that, so it's kind of like his stamp of approval on there.
My stamp is right here on my biceps.
Mine too.
Yeah, sodium is so important. I think everybody has to realize that our body runs on sodium, and the myth is that sodium is bad for you and it increases your blood pressure. But to be honest with you, actually not having enough sodium in your body actually increases blood pressure, and so you really want to make sure you're intaking enough sodium into your body. Especially if you're actually trying to lose body fat. I think that's really important. If you're trying to lose body fat and get healthy, sodium is so important for the entire muscular and central nervous system, all that stuff.
Yeah, and sometimes if I'm starting to feel dehydrated or kind of start to feel depleted or tired, just a little bit of water with some sodium, that can really do the trick. And
I've had a lot of my clients tell me like, "Hey, Trevor, I just had that pink drink and like I just waited 10 minutes and I feel amazing." And so the pink drink is apple cider vinegar, sodium, and water all put together.
Yeah,
And it's like a miracle cure. It's like really, there's no need to drink lots of coffee. Just have 2 or 3 pink drinks.
well, I still drink coffee. I drink mushroom coffee.
Oh, that's good.
I love my mushroom coffee. I'm literally like throughout the day, I'm going back and forth between my coffee and my pink water, my coffee and my pink water, back and forth. And then actually there's another product that I do take. I do drink it as well. And it's all natural energy and I love it as well. But that will be another day's discussion.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're talking about water today, guys, and I have a little interesting story about water. So when I was, not when I was, my grandfather, his parents, so my great grandparents, they were in the water business, and they had a spring on their property, and they would take that water and they would bottle it up, and they would I'm in Georgia, so they would take that water and they would ship it all over North Georgia. And everyone said, this water has healing capabilities, and it's just so good for you. And it's interesting that I am now in the water business, and I have that in my lineage. So I have a real interest in water, and I don't know if it's because of that or not. But it's so interesting that, like, when we go back and look at our families, we have old paperwork and advertising from that business over 100 years ago, and it's all about how hydrating it is and healthy and just so good for you. And guess what?
It is. That's all true.
Yeah, but guess what? That water doesn't exist anymore.
Well, that is very true.
That water existed a long time ago because we didn't have the pollution that we have now. We didn't have chemicals being poured into our water. We didn't have the population issues that we have now. So that water back then, yes, all those things that they were saying about that water were absolutely true. But you go to any stream in North America right now, and you probably, I mean, maybe where you are, maybe up in Canada and some of the,
Maybe.
some of the forgotten places, but there's so much pollution in our overall ozone and all that I think water on the entire earth is not what it was 100 years ago.
Oh yeah, like I mean, I've seen documentaries and news stories about how much plastics there are in the ocean, and that gets leached out into our water supply. It's crazy, you know. I mean, obviously, you know, I live in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. I mean, I would hope that our water supply is fairly, you know, uncontaminated, but you never can be so sure, right? Like you turn on your tap water and you're like, yeah, this is clean water, but you know, then just is it clean water? Like, is it really the healthiest water for your body? Right. And that's an interesting topic because again, like as biohackers, we want to be the healthiest people on the planet, right? So we need to be making sure we're drinking the most healthiest sources of water. So yeah, I that's interesting to know about that for sure.
So I was always, I've gone through many stages in my life, as you probably have too, Trevor, and our viewers, with water. At one point I was a Brita girl, and I've always had my water filtered in some form or fashion. And the more I've come to learn about water, filtering is extremely important. Like, everyone should be drinking filtered water to some degree, because the water there, it's just contaminated. There's no real perfect clean water anymore. So everyone should be at least one drinking filtered water. So in my search, for the longest time, I was drinking filtered water, and I thought, oh, that's, I'm good with that. But at the same time, I had a lot of headaches. I had a lot of chronic sinus issues. I had a lot of chronic stomach issues. And so someone introduced me to something called hydrogen alkalized water, electrolyzed hydrogen water. And when I started learning about this water, I said, I've got to try this water. So I tried it. I've been drinking this water now for a year, and I rarely have a headache. Almost all of my sinus issues have gone away, and almost all of my stomach issues have gone away.
It's amazing.
It really, I really feel hugely better. So I started looking into this water, like, what's actually going on here? What is actually happening? So in order to get water back to how it was 100 years ago now, we can either go to maybe someplace like where you live, Trevor, or the Swiss Alps or something, like some mountain stream may get you as close as possible to the water that my grandparents were using 100 years ago. But if you live in a populated society, you've got to be really seriously thinking about your water. And like I said, filtering is number one. That's key. So water in these streams, especially like up in northern Canada, Swiss Alps, untouched water streams, they have an electric current. That water is living water. Because it doesn't have anything messing with it, and it's able to take on the ions from the earth, and as it goes through rocks and gravel and all that stuff, it gains an electric oh
Like
gosh,
an electric charge, electric molecule.
yeah, it gains a charge. It's got that characteristic. And then when you get to more populated areas, what's happening is that water is being pulled out of streams, is being taken into pipes and all this stuff. And so what happens is it's being purified and filtered, and all this stuff's happening to it, and it's taking that electrical current out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And so the more you mess with it, humans mess with it, not nature, but humans, it becomes what's called dead water, and it no longer carries that electrical charge. So about 40 years ago, some scientists in Japan started studying water, and they figured out that you could manipulate the water in such a way that it would start to regain that electrical characteristic. And so they kept studying, and eventually they created this machine called an ionizer. And they started drinking this water and started noticing that their health was improving. So they said, well, since our health is improving, why don't we try this out in some of our hospitals in Japan? So they started using it in the hospitals, and it ended up being a huge success and became widely used all over Japan in their hospitals. So then they said, well, it's working so well in our medical system. Why don't we try to see how it works with the public? So slowly they started introducing it out into the public, and people were just noticing that they were having some really good experiences with this water. A lot of health conditions were improving, their energy was improving, their hair and skin was improving. And so then, eventually a company was created, and they said, let's take this to the world. Now there are many ionizers out there, but that one particular one is still in business today, that the first one. And I consider that company the Cadillac of what's now known as ionizers. So basically, in a nutshell, what these machines are doing is they're taking the water back, your tap water, taking it back to that natural state where it has an electrical current. And then within your body, it just has some real huge health benefits to it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
One of the things with that is the water becomes more alkaline than acidic. And so I have a little chart here.
So before we jump into that, I have a quick question, because this is really fascinating to me. Everyone thinks, water is water is water. You get water anywhere. You can go, just open up your tap and you get water. And so I like this analogy between the live water and dead water, because really, like, most of us, I believe, are probably drinking dead water. Like I know it's crazy, but I think, like, even for myself, I don't have hydrogenized or ionized water. But I think that the really cool property that this alive water has, and you will probably start explaining more about this in a minute, but it's the hydrogen, isn't it, in the water?
It's definitely the hydrogen molecules in the water.
Yeah.
So basically, I don't explain the science real well, but the molecules are broken in such a way that it creates more hydrogen. And so when we are dehydrated, that means we are lacking hydrogen. And so to become hydrated, we need hydrogen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I love this, because I love the fact that the water is tied into hydrogen. Because, and I just, before you go into that chart, Kelly, I think this is really good to point out.
Yeah.
Is that when we're eating saturated fats, okay, I just want to kind of make this connection between fats and water. Saturated fats are saturated with hydrogen. To drink a live water, you're actually drinking water that's saturated with hydrogen. So there's a big connection here. So I feel always so amazing because I have loads of saturated fats coming into my body. Hence, I have a lot of hydrogen coming into my body, which stokes and fuels the cells. And I think there's such a great connection between the hydrogen in saturated fats and the hydrogen in water, in iodine water. I think it's unbelievable.
I think it's really interesting. And can you imagine if you put both of them together, the saturated fats and the hydrogen water? It's
like boom, it's like explosion.
That's how I feel every day.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Especially since I've been on, on your program.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yes, so it is the hydrogen. I mean, basically it's called hydrogen rich water. And so I'm going to show you guys this little chart here. And so I said with the hydrogen, I'm getting used to this camera here. With the hydrogen, it makes the water more alkaline, which would be up here.
And where's the tap water? Like if I was to drink tap water, unfiltered tap water, is that like a 3 or a 4? Where's the acidity level on that?
So it's actually listed on here. Tap water is a 7. So it's kind of in the middle. So when you look at this chart, the lower you go, the more acidic. And so let's see. Some of the things that are really acidic are like battery acid.
Don't want to drink that, obviously.
Would you really want to drink battery acid? Cheeses, soft drinks are generally around a 2.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean Coke, right? I mean Coke is the classic one. You can rust nails in Coke or whatever, right? Like Coke nails, yeah.
Exactly. Sugar and coffee are at a 4 and 5, which is why I like my mushroom coffee, because it actually is more alkaline than normal coffee. Fruit juices are between a 6 and a 7. And then, all the good stuff like broccoli, olive oil, spinach, that tends to be up higher on the scale.
For sure. Yes.
So I like this picture here for thinking about this. And I'm going to do a little demonstration for you guys. So you guys can actually see what's really going on here. So,
all right, I'm ready. I'm ready for this demo. You got me all excited about this. Are we going to see the water blow up or something or what? Boom, like explosions or no explosions?
No explosions today. That's next week.
That's next week's live, yeah. Okay.
All right, so I just got bottled water here, okay? It's just, I actually keep a bottle of this crap in my refrigerator just to show this. I don't drink it. I don't know that I will ever drink bottled water ever again. It's just store-bought bottled water. The different bottled waters actually kind of fluctuate a little bit here, but they all kind of generally are in this area, okay? So I'm just going to pour some of this in this glass. And then I've got my hydrogen rich, this is 9.5 pH alkaline water, okay? And I'm going to pour it.
Try not to spill that, Kelly, because it's very precious water.
It's so precious. All right. So, and then I've got these little drops. It's to indicate pH, okay? And I meant to grab a spoon so I can stir this. All right. So one going in the bottled water, and then one going into the the alkaline water. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I can see already what's happening in the left bottled water there. Yeah,
All right. So this is your bottled water.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's like yellowy.
Yeah. Remember?
Oh,
Yellow.
yeah. There you go. The acidity level. That's a 5.
Yeah. It's a 5. And then look at my water.
That's a blue. Is that blue?
It's purple.
Oh, purple. Wow, that's awesome. So was that 9.5, or 10 almost?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I think that's a pretty good example there to show of what is going on with water.
Yeah.
I mean this proves.
Yes.
I mean,
There's proof in
there's
the pudding.
proof in the pudding.
Yes.
I mean, what do you guys think? That's pretty unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, it blows my mind. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, bottled water, I've known, like, I don't drink bottled water myself. I never have drinking bottled water at all. And because I know that it's not healthy, clean, pure water.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Y'all, I
Yeah.
don't want you to ever put any of this in your mouth ever again.
Plus, you're polluting our earth because we just throw away bottles.
It's heartbreaking. So
It is.
listen.
Yeah.
So listen, with the acidity here, the more acidic you go, the more oxidizing it is to the body. So, Trevor, I know you know what this means. Explain
Yeah.
what that means.
Yeah. Oxidizing. Yeah. I mean, it's basically your body's breaking down. Essentially, if your body is starting to ingest these things, your body starts to oxidize, and basically be like, it's like rusting a car. Your body starts to break down and you oxidize. And then your cells start to get sick, and you start to get symptoms of diseases in your body. It's insane. Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
Oxidizing is crazy.
So we all want something that is going to counterbalance. So if you think about it, look at all these foods that we eat all the time: coffee, pastries, pasta, cheese. All of these are acidic, and then you add acidic water to that. You are basically, like you said, you're making yourself into an old rusty boat.
Yeah.
Car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so at least if you're going to eat this stuff, be drinking this water to kind of counterbalance that, so you don't have so much acidity in your body. Joint pain, all of that inflammation is coming from acidity in your joint. I mean, it's coming from acidity in your body.
100%.
And basically it just kind of pools in your joints, and then you get arthritis and pain. And I fully believe that drinking this water is going to help to prevent, to prevent issues like arthritis. And so many other. The biggest thing I noticed was with this water, I used to always kind of feel like I had a level of water retention. I didn't realize that because it was how I was.
You just get so used to it. Yeah.
But then after I started drinking this water, that went away. And really the proof was shown last October. I had to travel, and I was away for 5 days, and I didn't have my water. I was having to drink this mess. And immediately I felt so bad. And I was like, please just get me back home to my water. I just want my water so bad. And now wherever I go, I'm going to find a way to take my water with me. I will pack up. I have packed up my ionizer and taken it with me. And I want it to be with me forever. And so I feel really strongly about this water. And I think when you see that little demonstration there, tap water tends to kind of, people ask all the time, filtered tap is going to be about the same thing, about a 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, clean water is important, and I would still drink tap filtered water over bottled, because you have no idea where the bottled water has come from. No idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Dasani, I mean, all that, you have no idea where it's come from.
Where does again, like I mean, I'm not 100% clear on, like, for example, reverse osmosis. Where does that fall into place in the acidic alkaline scale?
That's a really good question. And I have heard, and I'm not remembering at the moment where the RO water falls. If I had to guess, it would also be around that 5, 6, 7
Okay.
area.
With the reverse osmosis, you're also pulling stuff out that could be beneficial to the body too, as well. That could be
most definitely. Yeah. I mean, the RO, everyone who is drinking RO, you've got really good intentions, and I'm never going to say, oh gosh, you're so bad for drinking RO. I'll never say that. But just know that while your RO system is taking out a lot of the bad stuff, it's also taking out some good stuff as well. It's basically just beating the water so much that it's taking the good out.
Yeah.
And it's not electrolyzed. It doesn't have that electric characteristic.
Yeah, so it's still essentially dead water, but it's obviously way better than normal tap water, or obviously bottled water.
Yeah, I don't know if I would consider it better than tap water, because of, I mean, that is something I need to research more, because tap water still does have some minerals in it.
Right.
And, the RO water, a lot of good minerals are being beat out of it.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Because I mean, I'm an RO guy. I mean, I drink RO water all the time.
Yeah.
And I love this conversation, because I think a lot of people that are watching now have the same myth as me, is saying RO is way better than tap water. But you know what? You make a good point. And maybe it's not better than tap water. Maybe tap water is better than reverse osmosis, because of the fact that RO water has everything taken out of it. Right. So you're basically drinking dead water.
Yeah, exactly. Personally, if I have a choice, just from what I've learned with water, if I have a choice between really good filtered tap water or RO water, I'm going to choose the really good filtered tap water.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And again, like I know every municipality might be different when it comes to tap water, right? There's certain standards that one has to meet, right? So yeah, it's interesting. It's a great discussion, because again, like coming back to the beginning of our discussion, water is so important for the body. So like we always have that choice to drink a certain water, right? And I think, we have that choice to drink bottled, tap, unfiltered, reverse osmosis, or go to the ionizer, right? And I think that's a great way to kind of, looking at the ionizer, like I want to learn more about this, because I want to learn more about how I can actually get healthier water in my body.
Well, I'm here to tell you that it will make a difference. Like, I love this water. I love the way it tastes. I do feel like it, they say that it can bring out the flavors in your food if you cook with it. And I do agree with that. The ionizer that I have will make 7 different pHs of water, and there's a use for each pH. And I find that extremely helpful. But as far as the drinking of the alkalized water, I hope all I can say is I hope I never have to drink anything else. And I've gotten to where if I'm out at a function, I always carry my water with me, but someone will offer me a bottle of water and I'm just like, no, thank you.
I got my own water. It's interesting that you say about the taste, because I deal with a lot of clients in my Biohack the Fat Body Transformation System that say, oh, I just can't stand the taste of water. I don't like water. But this obviously would change the game for that, right? Meaning like that water will taste a lot more fresher, more pure. It'd have a better taste, obviously, than tap water.
For me, it tastes wonderful. The way I can explain it is it's got kind of a buttery taste to it. But I have heard that for people who have had, oh gosh, what is it? I can't remember if it's low iron or high iron in their body. If they drink this water, it has a metal taste to it. So I guess it must be if they have high iron in their body. And if they drink this, and I've had a few people drink it and they're like, oh, that tastes metally. And so what happens is it actually is pulling the metal out, it's pulling the metal out of your body. And if they were to continue drinking it, eventually that metal taste would go away.
That makes sense because that water is electrified. So, right, the ions basically suck the excess iron out, right? And that's why you taste that metal. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. I didn't experience that when I started drinking. I love the water immediately, but I have had a few of my clients say that tastes kind of metally, and so I just say just keep drinking it, and eventually you're gonna kind of clean your body out, and you'll love the water. But the buttery, like if you go and you try, if we were to try these two waters at the same, one after the other, you would notice a significant difference in taste.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
I think that the bottled water, it just doesn't have a richness to it. It's just really hard to explain, but you would never think, oh, that water is cheap, but it has like a cheap taste to it. It's
like drinking like a fine bottle of champagne versus like you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different tastes to champagne, right? Depending on how they age and everything like that. So this is the same as water. So yeah,
exactly.
No, that's really fascinating. So can we get into how we actually get ionized water? Like how does that work? How do we ionize the water? You had said that there's a machine. How does that?
There are ionizers out there, and I would suggest you do your homework. The one I use, I think I consider it the Cadillac of ionizers. You get what you pay for. To some people it may be more on the expensive range, when you look at ionizers. But for me, I was like, well, to me, water is pretty darn important. And I was like, I want to have the best. I have seen, I've seen videos of some of the manufacturers. They'll open up a used machine and there are like live wires and it can become a fire hazard. Oh. And some of the parts rust out easily and quickly. And this particular machine that I use is known to really hold up. It still takes care. I clean mine every month. And then you need to do an annual cleaning. So it still takes care, just like your car or anything else. But from everything that I've seen, the one that I use is the top of the line, and it is the one I would suggest. If you're gonna go with, ionizing your water, why not do it right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, this is stuff that's going in your body, right? So I wouldn't cheap out on this either. I'd be like, yeah, get me the top of the line because that's the water that I'm drinking that's fueling my cells, that's making me feel alive for sure. So yeah, no, I get that. So this is basically it taps right into your water tap, right? Like you basically can how does it work?
So filtered water is still first. So you need to still have your water filtered. The ionizer, it has a filter, but it's not what you want to completely filter water the way you want to. So you have what's called a pre-filter that goes before the ionizer. And what actually the pre-filter does is, of course, it filters the water efficiently, according what I suggest a lot is figure out what's going on with your local water, and then you kind of get an idea of what do I really need as far as a pre-filter. And then, some people want all of the chlorine filtered out. Fluoride is really hard to get out completely. From what I understand, there's no filter that gets it out completely, but you can get it out, significantly. And then, some people, there are other things they don't want in their water. So you certainly want to research your filter. But then another thing that the filter does is it helps to extend the life of your ionizer. So you've got clean water coming into your ionizer. That's only going to help your ionizer to last longer.
Well, for sure. That makes sense. Yeah, cool. That's amazing. I mean, that's a fascinating subject. I think this is like water, water is so important for our body. Obviously, 70% of our body is made up of water. So, it pays to make sure to, it pays to pay attention to the water that you're drinking. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And it's like, we promote all the time, drink water, you're supposed to drink half of your body weight in ounces every day.
Drink
water, but we never talk about what water should you actually be drinking.
The quality. Yeah.
The quality. And sadly, the bottled water industry just kind of came in and they took over and really have had a big part in people not having healthy water. And the bottled water, that could be a whole other topic, a whole other day.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to open up that can of worms, so to speak.
Exactly.
Because I've seen documentaries about the bottled water industry, and they're pretty crazy. I tell you, it's like the Wild West of the water industry, basically.
It is. And eventually we've all got to start standing up and saying enough is enough. We can't pollute our waters and oceans anymore. When I think there's what I've heard is there is a mound of trash and water bottles as big as Texas out in the Indian Ocean.
It's crazy. I've seen that too. I've heard about that. It blows my mind, right? And I'm like, we're really doing our planet and our bodies a disservice by drinking bottled water. So
yeah, it's heartbreaking. And so we've got to get a handle on it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this has been a great discussion, Kelly. Is there anything else you wanted to add about the ionizer? If anything you wanted our audience to learn more, how to actually get an ionizer if they're interested? Should they contact you or?
Yeah, if you've got any questions, just reach out to me in the message here. Leave a message for me. You can always go to my website, thebiohackermom.com. On Facebook, I am Biohacker Mom, and on Instagram, I am biohacker.mom.kelly.
Got all the Instagram. Okay, well that's awesome. I love it. Okay, this has been a really great conversation. It's I've learned something about water. Maybe I'll start to maybe I won't drink this reverse osmosis water anymore. I'll start to drink the hydrogenated water. That's where it is. That's where it's at.
That's where it's at. I mean, the proof is right here.
Great, yeah.
This.
Don't drink the yellow water.
Yeah, don't drink the yellow water, y'all.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, crazy. Okay, well, that's awesome. Well, hey, that basically concludes everything. I mean,
it's going to be our topic next week, Trevor.
Oh, I don't know. I think sleep or movement or exercise or I don't know, fat loss, weight loss, healthy foods. I mean, there's so much to talk about, Kelly.
Maybe if you guys have any ideas for topics you'd like for us to talk about, please put them in the chats. Please give us a like and subscribe on our YouTube channels. I am Biohacker Mom on YouTube. And what are you, Trevor, on YouTube?
I'm a biohacking coach on YouTube. I have a company called Biohack to help men and women over 40 lose body fat without going on a diet. And I'm super excited about that because it works. I mean, if you want to lose body fat, you have to become biohacked. That's the whole idea.
I've been on it for 3 weeks. I've lost 7 pounds.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I don't want to lose any more though.
You know, it's funny because I work with a guy in Spain, and he was struggling so bad to lose body fat. He was working out twice a day. You know, he's trying to really like force his body to lose weight, and he was at 100 and what was he at 100 and close to 190 pounds. And he's at 179 pounds. And I had a coaching session with him yesterday. He's like, Trevor, like, I just don't want it to lose any more weight. I mean, this is amazing. I've lost a weight. I got 6 more weeks in our program. I'm already almost at my goal weight. I'm like 4 pounds away from my goal weight. And so like we're tweaking his meal plan so that it can start to build muscle and lose body fat at the same time, which is possible, by the way. But it's like he said exactly like you. He's like, I don't want to lose any more weight. I'm at my pretty much my ideal weight. I just want to, you know, gain muscle and lose a little bit more body fat.
There are a few little areas I'd like to gain a little more muscle for sure. But yeah, I'm thrilled with it. I feel good. I feel really good, y'all, on his program. And it's kind of like the water. It's kind of like, do I ever want to really go back? I wasn't really eating a whole lot of sugar before, but do I ever really want to go back to eating sugar at all? You know, I probably not.
Right.
Maybe that should be our topic for next week.
Sugar. Oh man, there's hidden sugar everywhere. It's insane. I mean, I'm so diligent when I, you know, make meal plans for people because, you know, the tiniest thing could have hidden sugar. I mean, sugar is added to every single food that you could think of. Even like our pasta sauces and stuff is loaded with sugar. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sugar is a big topic we could delve into.
Okay.
I was going to say something else too. I know you never want to go back to eating sugar. Now you're going to be addicted to eating saturated fats.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I eat saturated fats like they're going out of style, but I mean, the saturated fats. I hammer into people that saturated fats are so good for you, right? Because over the past 60 plus years, we've been taught that saturated fats are bad and they'll clog arteries and they'll give you a heart attack. And it's not the case. And so, you know, I'm glad that you're on this biohacking journey with me because now you see how saturated fats can actually help you. So
I was in the grocery store the other day, and I don't know what the product was, but it was a husband and wife, and they had something in their hand, and she said, no, we can't get that. That's not fat free. I was like, I'm just going to keep my mouth.
Just leave it alone, right? Yeah, fat free is really bad for you. Like if it says fat free, it's loaded with sugar. Like that's the deal.
I knew that going into this, but this has been extremely informative. And you guys, I don't call it a diet. We don't call it a diet. We call it a program because it's a lifestyle. Yeah. And I do really like it. It's clean. And the biggest thing I will say is I was, you know, having shakes when I'm a trainer. When I would train, sometime in the middle of my workouts, I'd start getting the shakes, and I'd be like, oh, you know, just get me to 10 more minutes so I can get my granola bar or whatever. I'm not having the shakes anymore when I'm training, and that part is huge. That has been really great.
Awesome. That's an amazing like testimonial there too. You know, that's your body's you're using your own body fat for energy now, so that you actually are actually using your body fat for energy rather than glucose, which is sugar. So the reason why you have gotten those shakes is because the sugar level, the glucose in your body has plummeted, and your body's like, I just need something. I need sugar. I need glucose. And that's what the shakes are all about. But because you're transitioned away from using sugar, and when you're training, you're actually using your own body fat for energy, your body has an unlimited amount of body fat, and you can actually just go on and on and on and on. Like you have a lot of energy and unlimited energy when you actually use your own body fat for energy.
Yeah, it's been great. I have definitely noticed that this has turned more into
stable energy. Good. Okay. Awesome. Well, we're at 45 minutes, so that's it.
We're here at 45. That's awesome. That's always our goal. 45 minutes. Woohoo!
Yeah. And you know, it's fun. It goes by fast. You know, 45 minutes goes by really quickly. So.
It's a really good talk today. I really enjoyed this.
High five, everybody. Thumbs up, high five. Thanks for sticking in with us. And again, me and Kelly are When's our time? We're on Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? That's usually our time.
Yes,
Our time this week was changed.
Fridays. Yeah.
Friday.
We're thrown off this week. Hopefully next week we'll be back on target again. And you guys just stay safe out there, stay positive, and keep biohacking, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that experience and keep on biohacking your body fat stores.
Get biohacked.
Get biohacked, everybody. That's our thing. We got everybody in this world now to get biohacked.
Yep, exactly. Thank you guys so much, Trevor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly. Thanks, everybody. Guys, we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everybody.